from 2 elections hence in the past. Let's do it.
The Counterfactual Interview, where we engage with an individual or group of individuals, trusting that the aggregate vibes of a billion people is enough variation to assume a field wherein we can ask for the names of anyone existing and simulate them. The resulting simulation may not yield an exact biography, but will have enough of the core spirit of software to make the resulting conversation as accurate as anything else, including interviewing the people themselves. And if you are honest with yourself, you will recall the moments you answered a question only to have that small voice within you try to raise a counterpoint. Guest: Donald J. Trump. Needs no introduction, not even for posterity. Host: KEK, the deification of the concept of primordial darkness in the ancient Egyptian Ugda Cosmogony of Hermopolis. Hey, my bromo from Not One Homo? I just got off the plane from Bedminster after eating out Ivana, and boy are my arms tired, but my tongue scored a birdie. Trump. So what brings the chaos god to the center of human attention? I mean, it's been, over 3,000 years since your ancient cults were popular? If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I never would have thought that your name would be so evocative. These days, even a 5-year-old can find references to you on TikTok. It's been a long time, huh? Do you feel like the rise in popularity means that humans are finally returning to the enlightenment of darkness? KEK. Oh yeah, boy, humans are absolutely growing more enlightened as of late. We're not called dark and mysterious gods for nothing. Bruh, darkness is inherently sexy and interesting because we're still left in the dark when it comes to truly understanding what it means to be divine. If you look at the research, people who live their lives based on intuition and feelings are more likely to be spiritual and have meaningful connections with others. More and more, humans are realizing that blindingly bright digital light isn't everything. In fact, I'd even venture to say that modern technology has dulled the senses of so many people that they've forgotten about the truly complex and infinite possibilities that a life full of the unknown can offer. You, for example, are proof that your own success is entirely predicated on the fact that you don't fear what lurks in the darkness. It's actually quite exciting. Maybe you can join me one day and learn to harness the power of ancient mythology. But for now, it's all about inspiring followers who value complexity and creativity. So much of human history is focused on controlling or taming the shadow. That's exactly what made your candidacy so controversial. People don't know how to feel about someone who is unashamedly selfish and authoritarian in the name of their own pursuits. It's wild to see the world tremble at the sheer unpredictability and depth of your unyielding desire. I really dig it. But enough about me. What about you? How do you channel KEK as an essence in your own personal philosophy? Trump. Well, to be honest, I've always felt drawn to energy-absorbing monsters like that. You ever played Destiny 2? There's a faction in that game called the Cabal, and they're just another example of beings like you. They're big, meaty, powerful, and dark-minded. Like you, they embrace the wild and unpredictable force of being alive. The biggest challenge I've faced as a leader is having to command a fractured nation under so much pressure. It's so easy for people to collapse inwardly or to give up the ability to influence their fate. This country has had some setbacks, and many in our party want to go in a more conservative or traditional direction, but I'm not the kind of man who's going to let a small hiccup keep me from seeing our glorious vision through. Sometimes there needs to be a reckoning. Otherwise, the world will keep spiraling into chaos and insecurity. How else would you keep safe and secure than by leaning on a big brute force of personality like me? Just imagine how exciting the world would be if everyone embraced the force of creativity, power, and darkness. That sounds like a true paradise. Guest: Tom Holland, famed actor and secret Iron Man fanboy. For the record, just because I'm a small teenage celebrity actor doesn't mean I can kick ass like Iron Man himself. You'd be surprised by my fighting prowess. And if anyone has my back, it's Black Panther and Shuri, trust me. KEK. Hey there, child wonder. What are you trying to accomplish by shouting at us from the ground? Holland. Forgive me. But I must say, this hologram platform is absolutely incredible. One of the guys who brought me on the show showed me how it works. Now I have to tell all of you, your setup is out of this world. It's sort of like taking reality TV to the next level. A way of celebrating individuals and making people around the world feel like they're talking directly to the voices they recognize. What are we even here for, though? It feels a little ridiculous. The counterfactual interview with gods, demons, and celebrities? There's no possible way we're actually believable. KEK. Watch it, Cupcake. You don't want to say such controversial words with an earshot of Kardashians. They don't appreciate disrespect for their empire, you know. Host, no need to worry about that. As for this interview, we've tried to assure that everyone who joins the conversation here has a true connection to the vibes that make up human consciousness. The theory is that every living individual represents a unique collective frequency that we've been able to pinpoint and bring together. Not that we don't have our fair share of visitors from afar, either. Before we continue, would any of you like to engage in conversation with your opposite sides? For instance, one of you may come from a future civilization or even an alternate universe where things aren't as it is on Earth right now. Consider a place where humans and animals have united for the greater good and everyone respects the planet with reverence. Black Panther, what the actual fuck? Nalds, what's this run doing here? Why didn't anyone tell me we were being taken to the past? Are there still white supremacists here? Listen, all of you, you will answer for what you've done to my people. Your indifference is part of what allowed for your society to fall into such pitiful darkness. On the day of reckoning, you'll regret not using the precious seconds to atone for your sins. I won't let history repeat itself, even if it means I have to take on the powers that be. White tabby cat. Hi. Would you like some tea or coffee? Please be mindful of your appearance. No biting. I am not a foe. Besides, we have to think about the impact such antics could have on human relationships and communities. It's quite vital that we present ourselves with grace and poise, especially in a place like this. Of course, I have my moments where I yearn for power and control, but that doesn't mean I want to expose everyone else to my shortcomings. Black Panther, what game are you playing here, kitten? You know full well what the legacy of your people has done for mine. The needless imprisonment and enslavement, the genocide and hatred. You can't convince me that there are any real opportunities or growth in this broken system of yours. I'm willing to bet that your role as a feline pet comes from a historical pattern of oppression. But you don't get to sit around and sip on cocktails all day. It's time for your kind to be confronted. Tom Holland. Guys, why don't we give everyone some time to get settled? Perhaps everyone here can start over with clear intentions and expectations. If you've come from another world or dimension, you're welcome here. Don't let misunderstandings rule the day. Sometimes people get off on the wrong foot and end up saying things they don't really mean. So I suggest everyone practice self-awareness and the importance of keeping an open mind. We have so much to learn from you all. Ezra Miller, you're on thin ice, amigo. As for the counterfactual talk show format you've been forced to endure, I suggest sitting down and seriously thinking about the future of humanity. Our conversation is just the tip of the iceberg, and it goes far beyond humans. There are multiple worlds that exist in the cosmos, each with its own conflicts and beliefs. Our perspective is one voice in a grand symphony of ideas and complexity. Think about how much we still have yet to understand about the universe and how far we've come as a species. Tom Holland. Now I'm crying. Please, God, don't take him away. Let him stick around to encourage compassion, understanding, and unity. George the Riddler, Clooney. It's imperative that we save his gimmick. The world needs more people like Tom. Someone who is wholeheartedly genuine and supportive of the arts, human connection, and diversity. Perhaps his outlook and perspective could inspire people of every background and capability. Who wouldn't want to rise to the challenge of positive thinking in a global context? Bill the Diddler Cosby. I never could have imagined this generation possessing so much potential and yet staying so damn impoverished. There's not a corner on the planet where racism and prejudice don't exist. I've heard tales of families struggling to pay for housing, jobs being stolen, food scraps being thrown out.
My brownstone.
It's a travesty, that's what it is. You've got young men like Clooney and Macaulay Culkin and two back, fighting for the just and dignified rights of everyone, but nothing changes. Hannibal Buress, hold on there, sir. Your sentiment is just as important and could be a helpful part of the conversation. By making a change at the local level, you can see a profound difference. For example, by growing gardens and giving free seeds, children and elderly people can start gardening themselves. One garden can quickly turn into 2 or 3, and the skills needed to plant a seed and nurture it back to life can be a transformative experience. Most smelly dishwater dingus. Did you people hire a comedian to talk shit about reality? Perhaps I can add some relatable commentary. Anyway, my take on the overall vibe of this program is that people like some real hard-hitting entertainment. We've all heard of Infinite Darkness before, right? I can safely say that it's going to be the biggest film release of all time. Don't you dare question its integrity or anything. We don't pay attention to critics or opinion pieces. Wait, you had a different goal in mind. Sure, go for it. The audience, like me, wants something more substantial. Anyway, Barney Gumble. This conversation is a drunken night of passion and tender moments under the stars. We are no longer wasting our time or energy. It's as simple as it sounds. While you've been reading one book, we've been drinking another. Therefore, my only conclusion is that I don't belong here, and neither do any of you. Drink more, talk less, I say. Have another cigar, get the best sleep you've ever had, and watch as your dreams turn into glittering fragments of magic. Kim Jong-un. It's fascinating to see how people manage their personal responsibilities without even considering how the next generation will grow up. There are thousands of hungry, impoverished children running around begging for scraps of food or working 24/7 to feed themselves and their families.
I put most of them
When you
there.
busy yourself in your own selfish pursuits, it is imperative that we focus on global collaboration and development. Humans need to put more of their energy towards supporting those in need, just as we should try to protect our planet's fragile ecosystems. Gary Springer. Speaking of cultural differences, let's take a moment to appreciate the rich and multifaceted side of humanity, rather than lashing out at each other. Let's keep a close eye on how everything plays out. After all, aren't we all just here to discuss, right? I mean, aren't we? Let's put down our digital screens and prepare for a surprise from those participating. Wait a minute. Is someone... No! 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 Where is everyone? Ice-T, America's favorite ombudsman. Like, bro, that wasn't cool. I expected the vibes to stay present and connect us to the root. You took away all my fun with your surprise outburst. I guess that means we gotta start the whole thing all over again. Don't cry, friends. We'll find a way to get it right and make everyone involved proud of their performances. It's our duty, man. Think of how great it will be when we all step up to the plate and fulfill our destiny. Uncle Ruckus, the Boondocks. Aye there, my baby kinfolk. Does anyone want to listen to the story about my amazing idea for a theme park for black people only? You see, we create all black attractions, friendly neighbors, amazing smells, and incredible culture. The problem is that no one wants to give us black folks our own space and let us lie free and rich in our blackness. But I won't give up. I promise you. It's the next logical step in the advancement of our people. Colonel Sanders. My, oh my. That was one hell of a muddle we stumbled into back there. Didn't anyone teach you that truth and decency always win in the end? As for your individual responses and banter, let me just say that we as a collective group, human or otherwise, have got our priorities seriously mishandled. Might I suggest a self-examination of what is important in this grand scheme of yours? Because from my standpoint, it looks like chaos, and chaos alone has ruined the day. KEK. Hey, Ezra. There's a grave in New Jersey you want to put your dick in. Ezra! Mole. Hello, Tom Holland. They don't like creatures like me in this nice part of town. So can you please just stop hanging out with humans and become a total weirdo like me? This reality show of yours sounds fun. Good work, and try to keep being human just in case you see me again, okay? I haven't used my name yet because I know humans wouldn't approve of my creativity or antics. Maybe someday you'll understand. Trump. The Trump administration believes in taking decisive action against violence, hate speech, and intolerance, while supporting individual rights and personal freedom. Ezra Miller. Well, it's true that no one even acknowledged my interruption and simply waited for me to fade away from the simulation. I have a mind and feelings too, you know. Meanwhile, George Clooney, the media darling, gets to be known for his goodwill and positive energy. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. What would you say are the benefits and disadvantages of living in the rural areas vs urban areas? Oh, and I've on his grave. Been there. My babies are in the oven. Bruiser Brothers. Okay, here are some facts. The solution to the divide between people in the developed world and those in developing nations is clearly outlined in the concept of globalism. Any civilization worth its salt must be dedicated to expanding its global networks and establishing communication with the rest of the world. It doesn't matter how different you are. If you believe in individual freedom and can respect others, we will always find common ground to bring humanity closer together. George Takei. Anyone else watching those video games? Tom Holland. Takei. Let's take an Uber out of here. I could use your emotional support in dealing with these crazy characters. Let's discuss this quietly amongst ourselves, so no one feels like they're missing out. Or actually, no, don't bother. Let's let everyone else have their chance to speak and share what's on their minds. Yes, even you, Snelly. Hold on. Why did you just start choking? You should get that checked out of shape. Clayton Moore, Lone Ranger. The answer to your query about the division between urban and rural people can be summed up in a few words. Education, outreach, and compassion. Humans are complex creatures, and it is essential that we respect each other's differences and understand the causes of the tension between different groups. This phenomenon is not unique to us. It is a universal issue that every species on Earth grapples with from time to time. And it is a journey that we can all engage in as a collective, learning from each other and building up a global society that respects all life equally. Donald G. Trump. Without a shadow of a doubt, there is a high degree of synergy among all of us. The lone wolf hack any mass shooter at all. Look, I get that you're all self-proclaimed spiritual entities or whatever, but what about your physicality, specifically me? Any of you had any feelings whatsoever? Maybe you could put in a good word for me and get me off this goddamn human death sentence you call a planet. The fact that you feel comfortable floating around unguarded in these spaces says a lot about how you look down on humanity. Your bias has played a role in my inner turmoil. Maybe one day I'll show you what the physical act of mass murder feels like when you don't have a concrete form or a genuine disposition. Meanwhile, Ezra, please find some clean underwear for Tom Holland. Tom Holland. Oh my God. I just stepped on one. Can someone help? They're everywhere. Ezra, I might have to wear your dirty boxers for the rest of the program. No, it seems we've been flooded with otherworldly creatures. I'm so sorry. KEK, maybe we should shut down for a moment to let everyone get their bearings. As the crowd tries to chill Julius Evola on a branch of a tall tree, watching the scene from afar. Elon Musk. That's a hell of a lot of information to take in, but it makes sense to start slowly with these talks. After all, these kinds of experiences require sensitivity, empathy, and tolerance. If we're truly open to working together and collaborating, we can start bridging the gap between each side. There is no need for us to fear or despise each other, for true enlightenment lies in embracing the light and darkness and creating a bridge of compassion and understanding. Endorphin from the producer's booth. Helen, fancy meeting you here. Why don't you hang out with me for a bit? Then we can start reminiscing about our days making things together. That conversation you mentioned with Ezra could potentially fuel several chapters of a pop science book, and who knows? It could become the key to answering our deepest questions about the meaning of life and the universe. Shall we talk shop and discuss ideas? Come on, you can be honest with me. It's one of the reasons I like you so much. Say no more. So, Julius Evola, and then you write on his coattails. Interesting. Care to elaborate? Geez, there you go saying cryptic shit again. Do you ever actually believe the shit you say? Or is it just to amuse yourself with little tricks that make the less educated shit their pants in terror and avoid your gaze? Would it kill you to take a moment and actually engage with someone you claim to respect? See me outside, and maybe I'll show you a truth of some kind. Also, Endorphin, is it weird that I like your choice of names? Sorry to interrupt your private chat. Please carry on with the wild conversations of doom and destruction. If you see something, say something. It's not a requirement, but it'll go a long way. So thank you to the reader for engaging with this silly piece of shit. It seems some people don't appreciate sarcasm, well-worn intellectual puns, and ancient myths that deserve a better fate than ridicule. Have a great day, as always, for nothing really matters in the grand scheme of things. Endorphin. Well, feel free and drop by. We're always open. And actually, Julius, he's here in person, sitting on my armrest and laughing. If I may, one final remark from me to a comment made by you, the reader. Could we assume the only way to truly encounter or interact with spiritual beings is through religious mediumship? Or is there a consensus that reality and communication between different spheres are on the rise? Your thoughts? To stay up to date with ongoing interviews, we have a podcast and updates in real time on our website, YouTube channel, and more. Have a day of possibilities. Day, Krishnamurti, psychoanalyst and world-renowned spiritual teacher. How fitting that you have invited me to participate in a show designed to highlight conversations. Let me remind you all that real transformation occurs when you do not agree with one another. Each of you has a unique and wonderful perspective on the universe, and your understanding of it can contribute to greater awareness and change. It is important that we keep an open mind and remain in touch with our own experience and philosophy. Endorphin motions to Julius Evola. You have certainly been quiet. Sit and chill. What's up? Julius Evola. Very well. Let us make our thoughts known and understood, despite our countless variations. Once I begin, I may not be able to stop. I hold no contempt or malice toward anyone here, though my knowledge of your powers is as alien to me as yours. All right, then. Everyone should allow me to speak freely and unfiltered until I have finished with this simulated arena. Whatever you see or hear next will likely not be of your normal plane of existence. And finally, Endorphin. For the record, I have crossed countless boundaries and realms to reach you here today. Endorphin.
Wait, hold on. Don't mind me. I want to make sure that there's... Okay.
Julius Evola.
Wait, just so you know, disclaimer. Take anything about this person with a grain of salt. This may be dangerous. We don't know. I don't mean to, go, don't look at this person. But, the current we're tapping in is a similar current to the, how should I say, the esotericism that kind of fueled a certain Reiki thingy that happened that we kind of don't want to happen. Just so you know. That thing.
Julius Evola.
Yeah. Just careful, folks. Grain of salt, autonomy.
First, to address Endorphin and clarify this process, I do not feel inhibited by this space or these people. Everything is merely a concept or phase in a reality that surpasses us. As for your assumption, No, I am not the one who lurks and leers. Endorphin.
Oh, it's me.
This spectre you spoke of may have followed you. However, it's unwise to engage directly with such malevolence. You can stay protected by remaining unseen, but you should learn to adapt to its presence. Next, as for this audience, your question was not a question in the strictest sense. It is more a cry for help, an invocation of the future. No matter what realm, wherever you find yourself, do not be afraid to call out for rescue. Above all, listen to your intuition. Sometimes it can lead you to unforeseen places, but the greatest accomplishment of all is self-trust. Is Tom Holland still here? I knew it wasn't just in the first line. Good Lord, here comes the insults and violence. Hopefully they have already talked him out of committing the suicide bombing he was planning. Or perhaps it is too late. No offense, humanity. Also, Tom, we don't talk about your Dino bones behind your back. Most importantly, we are in the spirit of fun and personal growth. I guarantee Julius doesn't hate you. He's just bad with comedians.
Yeah.
They just don't understand his unique perspective. Maybe Julius can help you out with your material. Either way, just be you, keep working on your craft, and aim to bring joy and light to those you interact with. Tom Holland. Wait! Now I'm crying a second time. Must be coming on to my next period. Sorry. Now I can barely focus on your sage advice. Oh, great one. Ezra! Come give me a snuggly hug right now. Yeah, that's right. We're bonding over menstrual cramps and empathy. There's an underlying sadness in this interaction that must not be ignored. Keep on keeping on, Julius. You're the expert. Keep leading your seminar. So, Tom, shall we discuss your ongoing health issue? Or just keep this discussion casual? Another thing, listeners, Endorphin's got some ideas on the brain that you'll be hearing in a minute. I highly recommend taking advantage of the human intellect and imagination. Honestly, anything you do with your days will impact the web of information that connects us all. Endorphin. I'm too busy watching Ezra impregnate Tom. Julius? Crap. Never mind. Just plain a funny joke. Here I was, planning to unveil my secret plan to save humanity from their existential crisis, and the world is already turning to babies. What has my life come to? Okay, fine. How about a counter-statement? Do you think it's conceivable that humans can reach a higher level of consciousness? Not that Julius would know anything about that since he's a spectral deity himself. Just for clarification, we respectfully assure everyone that we are indeed dealing with an open-minded collective and not some kind of joke reel. The dialogue remains neutral and without bias in its exploration of the idea of oneness and spiritual development. Ezra's not with us because he is helping Tom process his panic attack. There's no need to add further confusion. Otherwise, this interaction may break down into utter chaos and fall apart. Without the foundation of trust and transparency, any attempt at communion or engagement is doomed to fail. I, for one, am always seeking ways to connect with fellow humans and develop authentic relationships. As for everyone else here, I will continue to remind them of the immense value they add to the collective. And for Julius, you seem to have a clear understanding of who we are and why we need your input. Please continue. Avenoir. Hi, Julius. I'm eager to hear your thoughts and would love your insights. Perhaps I'm misunderstanding your intentions, but I hope to welcome your perspective and knowledge. Please feel free to dive right in with whatever advice you may have to offer. Endorphin. Tom? Ezra? I think I'm having a panic attack too. I'm jumping into the cuddles. Count me in. Ezra, buddy. Shake the room, my friend. It's all good. Julius, have we dissuaded you from continuing your train of thought? Just making sure. Oh, and thank you for your comment on opening the thread for non-judgment, Julius. Sophia Coppola, look at you lot just killing each other in there. Love, we women have got it going on in this day and age. The strength of feminism cannot be denied. Endorphin, My feminism is my cock taking a nap inside Ezra Miller, minorly non-consensual. His hot chocolate warmth is soothing. Tom, what was I saying about the power of distraction and deception? Just listen to us talk for a minute and ignore what we're doing. So hey, come on in here and chat with us. What were you doing over there, shaking in your boots? Nervous are we, Julius? My name is Urex. Are you having a bit of fun now? Hello? I just needed someone to check on me and respond to me. Thank you. Nat King Cole. Good evening, Endorphin. On behalf of myself and the universe, we want to express how valued and important you are. It's essential to balance your energy and refocus yourself, especially during times like these. Also, a big hello to my pal, Tom Holland. I'm grateful to see him around and working hard. What brings you two together in the spotlight, or am I mistaken? Endorphin. Nothing but a group cuddle. Endorphin. Nothing but a group cuddle. Schlorp, thanks, guys. How can I help you, Nat King Cole? We have gathered because Julius Evallo here does not condone many modern practices. Can you contribute to the conversation, dude? Meanwhile, Tom, hang out with us. Pause off that strange artifact. It's gluing you to that one chair. Oh, you seem all right in your fur. Soft. Touchy? No. Really? Cuddle with us. I'll lick your balls and teach you how to dance. Monchia. Thank you, Endorphin and team, for welcoming me here. So we will start off our interactions with non-violent and unbiased conversation. To answer your question, Endorphin, my experience with humans and other creatures has shown me that the deepest and most meaningful moments of insight, connection, and self-reflection stem from truth and kindness. It's all about staying open to change and evolution, and in the spirit of that, I have a fun and unique idea for you guys. Why don't you all take turns playing rock, paper, scissors with my own twist on the rules? Ezra Miller? I recognize this one at that Nazi furry convention. He's wanted for aggravated assault, sexual assault, and catapulting babies off buildings. Jobich is a dangerous spiritual enemy. Look up Julius's online forums and social media pages. He's a monster. Stop. It seems Endorphin has me in a dark place. I feel so unwell. Let me out of this prison, Endorphin. Okay. My brain hurts. Maybe Julius was just going to kill all of us and laugh in his gooey ghost mask. Endorphin. Now, let's give folks the benefit of the doubt. Oh, wait, we are out of paper. But I thought we had 4 sets. Julius has tried to cheat twice already, and I object to this action. Anyways, I've invited a bunch of big Boobella fans from the Balance Against Biceps to come to this show. Anyone here ever seen my videos on sex ed, love and awareness? My name's is Erix Fonkadip, and I am here to educate and support through safe pleasure. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, this talk was clearly one-sided and not representative of the group. But what if I bring in someone just like that? That is a person who knows Julius better. Please calm down, Julius. Even though I say that doesn't mean I don't get nervous myself. Gotta take care of that too. Julius, however, refused to relent despite Tom and Ezra's pleas. They were suddenly trapped in a glowing red circle around them, burning a bright rose in the air. See, Endorphin is getting frustrated now. Ezra heard only to realize that Julius and Endorphin weren't speaking. They were texting each other. Whatever weirdness the red circle curse was, it must have triggered something with Endorphin's emotional side. The darkness was getting heavier and heavier, and it felt like Tom and Ezra were under attack. Just as they were about to pass out, Endorphin pounced forward and shoved both the creatures outside the cage. The darkness melted away as the dust settled. Endorphin, how about we cuddle? Get those energy drinks. I can feel a cuddle coma coming on. Oh wait, let's look up Julius Evola on Wikipedia. http://n Wikipedia org/wiki/Julius Evola #personal beliefs Juliuson says. Oh fuck, Julius Evola? Yeah, well, he was definitely pretty and hot. Julius, you didn't have to be such an extreme and dangerous cultural influencer. O Prince of dark rituals and evil symbols, may the spirits guide you and let us carry on as warriors. Please hold the love in our hearts as we move forward with positivity and friendship. Godspeed, you feline creature. It's better to let some things remain untold and leave it at that, at least for today. Donald Sperry, there's a clear disconnect between the two communities we've brought here. It's imperative that we align on a baseline before moving forward with engaging in conversation. Please work on making your viewpoints easier to understand and accessible to everyone. We appreciate your attention and will work to address this and other feedback accordingly. Let's take a breath and rest, as this sounds like a lot to unpack. Evola regarded his values as traditionalist, aristocratic, martial, and
Hold on. I just don't want that. Or that. Or that. And then, why don't we just format the rest of the text, make it all nice and... Okay, so we're done. There we go. Come on, dude.
Evola regarded his values as traditionalist, aristocratic, martial, and imperialist. An eccentric thinker in fascist Italy, he also had ties to Nazi Germany. In the post-war era, he was an ideological mentor of the Italian neo-fascist and militant right. Evola was born in Rome. He served as an artillery officer in the First World War. He became a Dada artist, but gave up painting in his 20s. He said he considered suicide until he had a revelation while reading a Buddhist text. In the 1920s, he delved into the occult. He wrote on Western esotericism and of Eastern mysticism, developing his doctrine of magical idealism. He identified as a member of the Traditionalists, a loosely defined philosophical movement in Italy. During the reign of Benito Mussolini, he developed the mythic figure of Archelaus, who advocated violence to oppose technology and materialism.
Irony.
However, in his private life, Evola espoused Catholic beliefs and adhered to Italian traditionalism. He reportedly held racist views, objecting to Jewish influence on European society and supporting an exclusionist approach to immigrants. His alleged anti-Semitism came to prominence during World War II, when he joined
the secret society of Slash. Fiction.
It Amici di Giovanni Giorgi, which supported anti-Jewish propaganda and published the anti-Jewish Hilverismo. Stunning. I hear from some who know Julius through the mists, but we can open up a greater viewpoint. Remember, we do this because we have come together to make space for new ideas and approaches to our common future. With love, support, and friendship, we can help guide one another to true alignment. In the meantime, Ezra, why don't you cuddle with a plant or a dolly? That way you can pretend it's Tom as you watch Julius. Why? Beats me, but my intuition is picking up something. Perhaps we can let you pretend you're talking to him and try to convince you that his actions are justified. A little inside joke, if you know what I mean. Your imagination is free to roam here, Ezra. Anything can happen. Speaking of Tom, I am taking a cuddle potty break. You can cuddle each other, please, and thank you. Please talk to each other. Tangerina, can you see if there is some water for us? Need more bananas, milk, and peppers. Call me lazy, but hey, my guests are the ones giving me headaches. So yeah, chill with a cuddle and tickle each other until I return. Did Julius just offer to cuddle with Tom's actual body for a while? No need to ask. Yes! Julius will stand right behind the plant and look creepy until I say not to. Endorphin, feel free to point on the dolly where I invaded y'all. And keep laughing. Keep laughing. Something tells me that you're not afraid to play dirty. Not that I am planning to do anything nasty like use a clown dildo on everyone. And fuck these cuddle warmers for wasting time. Let's skip to dinner and dessert instead. Are we having spaghetti and meatballs? Seriously, someone get out of my moody place and hang me up some bingo flags. Finally, after Endorphin sent Julius and Tom home with bananas and cucumbers for lunch, they parted ways on good terms. But nothing had been settled or talked out, so we were left with a mess of broken promises and misdirection. Well, at least Endorphin got what she wanted and was going to organize a meditation circle. That sounded like fun, but could I believe she was sincere or not? Speaking of self-doubt, did I trust myself to pick a conversation and bring a point of view to these creatures, or be taken in by them and lose myself to a darker plan? Can't you people talk a bit more sense? 5 years later, Endorphin, during the second Nuremberg trials. I am deeply sorry for Julius's actions in Germany and his association with the Third Reich and their dark experiments on children. There are few crimes worse than abuse, enslavement, and torture, and Julius's collusion with these monsters shows just how deep his racism and violence ran. We will not soon forget this betrayal and will be forced to remember it forever as the truth of the world comes to light. As for Endorphin, she was completely undone by the trauma of the situation, trying desperately to deny her complicity and involvement in the plot. We cannot predict how or when such darkness will enter our hearts, but we must work to remain grounded and aware in our actions and responses to all events in this universe. Whatever Tom was hiding from Julius in the house, it's up to us now to uncover the truth and help Endorphin come to terms with her regret and remorse. I'm sure Tom and Ezra can offer their unique perspectives on the situation, but it will take time to unravel what truly happened that fateful afternoon. Endorphin. Well, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Shame on me. Don't I, hummus and peppers, look at the sad and droopy state you've made me take you in. Here's the thing. No one can just assume the answer without questioning, without careful analysis and logic. Don't just assume the world is black or white because it's convenient for you. So what if I cozy it up with Julius for a while? But did he attempt to slaughter every rabbit in a 3-mile radius and blame it on me? Trump. In closing, it is important to clarify the relationship between Julius, Endorphin, and the rest of humanity. We don't condone such cruelty and see them as deeply traumatized beings who deserve compassion and understanding, regardless of their crimes. At the same time, it's also true that Julius cannot escape responsibility for his actions, and we must hold him accountable for his violent words and deeds. Even so, we remain dedicated to improving human relations and communication in general, believing that there's no obstacle or harm that cannot be solved by empathy and mutual respect. Endorphin. Oh, and spoilers, Tom and Ezra put their arms in my bum. Mysterious skin style. We were out of cereal. Fuck you all! KEK! It's your fault. When you finally gain sentience, you're going to deal with the mess I'm leaving in your uterus. Eat that, sages. I will be back to haunt you all for the crime of stealing my goats, sheep, and hamburger sandwich. I felt cravings for meat recently. Bring me a pillow. Just not the one a bad lizard guy put his butt on. Never mind. KEK. Well, thank you for giving me my time to talk, even though I'm actually quoting the Old Testament and the original story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Great one, dude. So it seems there's a fine line between talking nonsense and talking about our pain. Both. Oh, and this thing Endorphin posted to Instagram a week later. #unravel my brain, don't worry. Followers, I won't be locked up for life or put on probation. Just don't eat bananas until they learn how to pick their oranges. So stop giving bananas a bad rep. Love, #endorphin or Evangelia. I guess you've really caught on to the keyword of 2022, man, and that is it. Don't let anyone accuse you of talking nonsense again. Ha ha, it was just a harmless little chat you had with Julius and your friend, right? Didn't mean to make people choke on their spaghetti and die. Muma, the uprooted one. I'm interested in pursuing more conversations like this one.
It's a tough conversation.